Scooby-Doo, the classic show about four teenagers and their dog driving around in a van solving mysteries spanning multiple TV shows and movies. But have you ever wondered how they all connect? Hello everybody, I'm Indomitable, and at one point in my life I watched too much Scooby-Doo and have now decided to put together a timeline of all the shows and movies. So join me as I map the timeline of the series and the family tree of the Scooby-Doo. First up is a pup named Scooby-Doo. The simple reason that this one is first on our timeline is because they're all children, meaning that the show is the starting point of the journey for Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, Norville Shaggy Rogers, and Scooper Dooper in the town of Coolsville. We also get our first members of the Doobert family, with his ancestor, Missing Link Doo, his uncles, Horton Doo and Nasty Doo, his parents, Dada Doo and Mumsy Doo, and his siblings, Skippy Doo, Howdy Doo, and Ruby Doo. The next show in our timeline is the original show itself, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? There's nothing more to this one though, as it's just them as teens solving mysteries without any major changes or events happening yet. And we meet no new Doobert family members, so we can just move on to the next one. Following that, next on our timeline we get the new Scooby-Doo movies, which introduce us to a more expansive universe, including the entire DC universe, the Addams Family, the Three Stooges, the Harlem Globetrotters, Laurel and Hardy, Sonny and Cher, Sandy Duncan, and many, many more, yet no new additions to the Doobert family. Before the next century, Scooby-Doo also had a crossover with Dynamite the Dog Wonder, making that show canon, for now at least. Next up, we get the Scooby-Doo show, which is exactly like Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, but now we get new family members for Scooby with his cousins, Scooby-Dum and Scooby-Dee. After this, we get the first ever Scooby-Doo film with Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood. And the only significance for that is that it gives us a possible reason for why Shaggy and Scooby start ditching the gang for a while, starting with our next installments. Next up, we have two shows that share the same exact name, the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show. These shows introduce us to Scrappy-Doo, the son of Scooby's sister, Ruby Doo, and an absent father, making him Scooby's nephew. He is the most hated character in the show's history. In unpopular opinion, I don't think he's that bad, and personally, I really like him. These shows are exactly like the last ones, but with a new character in the eventual erasure of Fred, Velma, and Daphne. We also get new family members for Scooby's family, like his other brother, Yabba-Doo, Great-Grandpa Scooby, and Grandpa Scooby. Then from there we move into the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, which is once again the same exact show, but Daphne comes back, and we also get new family members like ancestor Yankee Doodle Doo, cousin Dixie Doo, Whoopsie Doo, and Doobie Doobie Doo. And that's it for the family tree, but there's still so much more timeline to cover. Next up, we enter the Redshirt Shaggy Era, with Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts, which confirms that the paranormal is real in this universe, and introduces us to two of the most important characters in all of the lore, Vincent Van Gogh and Flim Flam. Anyways, they only capture 12 out of the 13 ghosts, and that's a major plot point that will come back. After that, Daphne leaves again for a while, and we get the adventures of Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy in Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, in which Shaggy inherits a manor from his Confederate uncle. Then after that, Shaggy gets a job as a teacher at a school for the daughters of famous monsters in Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. Then, with the help of Shaggy's girlfriend, Googie, they have to race famous monsters in order to undo Shaggy's werewolf curse in The Reluctant Werewolf, thus ending the Redshirt Era once and for all. At some point after the Redshirt Era, Scrappy supposedly dies off-screen, and Shaggy and Scooby have one more solo adventure before they reunite with the gang in Scooby-Doo Arabian Nights. Not a lot to say here, it's just Hanna-Barbera characters as characters of Arab stories like Sinbad and Aladdin. Next, we get the 4 greatest movies in the history of cinema, with Zombie Island, which is Ghost, Alien Invaders, and Cyberchase. And while they're all supposed to be adults here, this will be heavily retconned. The important story beats here are that the gang reunites, the gang befriends the Hex Girl, aliens are real, and VR is scary. The next piece of media that takes place on our timeline is Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Hear me out. What's New Scooby-Doo can't be next because they are adults living on their own. Mystery Incorporated, they're teenagers. But in Mystery Incorporated, they already know the Hex Girl, meaning it has to take place after, which is Ghost. Thus, the first piece of retcon we have that they are teenagers in those movies, not adults. It can't be pre-Scrappy either, because we see the stuffed corpse of Scrappy-Doo in the museum run by Velma's family in the very first episode of the show. Anyways, the important parts of the lore that are added here is that there was a mystery-solving group that had a talking owl prior to our group. Apparently, mystery-solving groups with a talking animal is a destiny of the universe. The city is changed to Crystal Cove, but in my headcanon, it's like Malibu and LA with Crystal Cove and Poolsville. Fred is adopted, and the universe is reset, meaning that at the very least, this show never actually happened, and some time fuckery has now happened to our sacred Scooby-Doo time. And with that, now we get to my personal favorite, What's New Scooby-Doo? Because at the end of Mystery Incorporated, they were adults and headed out to start a new adventure. Also during this point, the movies Legend of the Vampire, Monster of Mexico, Loch Ness Monster, Aloha Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy, Pirates Ahoy, and Chill Out Scooby-Doo all take place. Also around this point, I'm just going to say that both Courage the Cowardly Dog and Batman the Brave and the Bold take place around here, as they are both canon to the Scooby-Doo universe. After these shows, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue take place, but there's nothing much to say about it. Next are a ton of movies, so I'm just going to speedrun them. Goblin King, Samurai Sword, Abracadabra Doo, Camp Scare, Legend of the Phantasaur, Music of the Vampire, Big Top Scooby-Doo, Mask of the Blue Falcon, which shows the effects of the time fuckery as the Blue Falcon has gone from a real hero to characters on a TV show. Anyways, Stage Fright, WrestleMania Mystery, Franken-Creepy, Moon Monster Mystery, Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery, WWE Curse of the Speed Demon, Shaggy's Showdown, Scooby-Doo and the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, Gourmet Ghost, which makes Fred related to famous chef Bobby Flay, Curse of the 13 Ghosts, which helps conclude the storyline of that show, but tries to undo the paranormal, then Return to Zombie Island, which retcons them to being high schoolers officially during that movie, and undoes the Zombies Are Real plot, which is dumb, Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoop, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, and Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo. The next show on the list is Be Cool Scooby-Doo, where everybody decides to be annoying for a year. It's bad. Ignore it. And finally, the last thing that's going on our sacred Scooby-Doo timeline that has fully finished production and airing at the time of this video being made is Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, which is a direct sequel to the new Scooby-Doo movies, bringing back such characters like Sandy Duncan, Batman, the Hex Girls, Lincoln's Ghost, and many, many more. Now, that's just the main timeline. But like any major timeline, there's a multiverse. A Scoobyverse, if you will. Now, let's briefly go over the timelines of the Scooby-Verse. First, there's the live-action Scooby-Verse, which in chronological order goes The Mystery Begins, Curse of the Lake Monster, Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Next, we have the Scooby-Verse, which gives a new origin for the gang and a new version of the Blue Falcon. Then we get the Puppet Scooby-Verse with the Mystery Map. Then we get the Lego Scooby-Verse with Nighttime Terror, Haunted Halloween, and Blowout Beach Bash. Then we have the first of 2 instances of a Scooby-Verse lacking a Scooby, with Daphne and Velma. The second one is the new Velma show. At least, that's what the ads make it seem to be. And if all goes according to plan, this video will come out on the same day as the premiere of that show, thus giving me the perfect marketing opportunity for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you were enlightened with Scooby knowledge. If you liked this video, leave a like and subscribe because I'm planning to do similar videos in the future, and check out some of my other content while you're at it.